Well, fantastic, man. I'm glad that we got to reconnect. This is fantastic,
Yes.
and so soon and quickly. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic meeting people on these technology platforms that we all
Yeah.
frequent, and then getting the opportunity to actually connect and chat is just really phenomenal. And that we
Yeah.
have technology that lets us do this. This is this is amazing.
Yeah. I agree with you. Everything of what you just said of utilizing the technology platforms and social mediums that we have to then translate into real life connections. That's everything. And we literally just spoke maybe about a week or half ago. And I guess we maybe just hit it off that well to where now we're back again today. So I'm
Yeah.
glad to be talking to you today, Warren.
No, this is fantastic, and I'm excited to
Yeah.
talk with you as well, Bryce. So
Yeah.
tell me, share with let's share with our audience who we're
Hmm.
talking with and
Yeah.
what we're doing. Uh, Today, our conversation really started on LinkedIn. You were
Right.
posting about your impressions and how your
Yes.
goal is to get 1.2 million. So I'm
Right.
excited to hear your thoughts on that particular aspect.
Yeah.
But first,
That's
share with me who you are, and then I'm going to
yes,
share, and then
absolutely.
we'll jump into our conversation there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, first and foremost, just backing up again, Warren. Super excited to be talking to you today. And number one, we both having a commonality that gives us a place and platform to be able to share and talk to each other. So, for me, who am I? So I'm Bryce Grandison. For those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Oakland, California, San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California. My wife and I are high school sweethearts. Been together since the first month of freshman year of high school. I always like to get good brownie points on that. But most importantly, though, we've been best friends for a long time. So we're now going this fall. We'll be going together for 14 years, and we'll be this summer have been married 8 years. So that's awesome and exciting. But to back it up even a little bit more, I always kind of give my spiel of, hey, where did I come from? What did I do to ultimately get me to this point today? Started off, like I mentioned, Oakland, California. Fast forward from there, went down to Southern California to play college football. Got out of undergrad with a business degree, worked for a global retailer for over 2.5 years in a number of different management roles for them. Then transitioned that into always having a love and passion for real estate. So I went back to school, got my master's degree in real estate, parlayed that into working for a small boutique real estate investment firm out in Los Angeles, where I was an asset manager for us, overseeing about 150 million of multifamily property across Los Angeles and Washington D.C., with a total of over about 640 units of different opportunities there. So that was great, but always had more of a broker's personality and skill set. And ended up telling my boss that one day, and he politely said, "Hey, okay, cool. And then your last day being just a couple weeks." And I said, "All right, thank you." But that was ended up being a fortunate a blessing that gave me and my wife an opportunity to move out here to Atlanta, and we moved out here. That was in May, in which I left my job there. My wife was 1 month away from graduating, getting her master's degree in acting, and then we landed out here in July. And so made a huge faith move to come be closer to some family who live out here in the Atlanta area, and just felt like this was the right place for us to be. So been out here in July and then getting to it, and now taking all of my experience, knowledge, and skill set that has come from the commercial real estate industry now here onto the residential side of real estate here in Atlanta, and focusing on some of North Atlanta suburbs and the wealth that we have up there in that luxury space, but also too helping people in more of your 2 to 10 unit small commercial multifamily deals, and then also straight up just investment properties and single family rentals, fix and flips, and in that space as well. So that's kind of my focus point from soup to nuts. I've been able to now be in some really cool spaces over the last few months, different networking events and that thing. Just left an event last week with at 1020 Spring Street, with a big 550,000 square feet of office, and just decked out, just delivered here in 2024. I think by the Portman Group, and so cool stuff. Excited to continue to keep growing, learning the area, seeing how much different it is from Los Angeles and Orange County, where I recently just came from. and then being able to celebrate that, and to truly be able to be one in which I'm falling in love with Atlanta, because now this is home. So I want to be able to support, stand on, hey, this is a place where there is a lot of wealth. We are a top 5, top 7 metropolitan area in all of the United States, and we're here to stay. So that's what I'm here to support.
Fantastic. I'm super excited to chat with you about that today. So you recently came to Atlanta. You got here in July. What has been? Tell me what the most interesting and most jarring thing from California to Atlanta has been for you.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. The most interesting thing that I've seen from Atlanta to California has been the wealth that's here in this area. And I live in the North Atlanta suburbs, your Swanee's, Johns Creek, Alpharetta area, where we're talking major country clubs that have been there for over 40, 50, 60, 70, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, 80 years. And so that has been so interesting. People, it feels as if the wealth that's been here has been here for a long time. It feels comfortable. It doesn't feel like, hey, you just got millions of dollars yesterday and now you don't know how to treat people. And the more jarring thing to that I would say is that people here are just really nice. They're just really nice people. I'm talking about just simple stuff. I know that I've heard of Southern hospitality before, but like in my neighborhood, in the areas, you can wave to people and there's people interacting and gathering. And back in California, like there is that, but I barely knew my neighbors back in California, or like it was a stretch before you waved to somebody or said hello, versus here, the person who's getting out of the Ferrari will still say hello to you and spark up a conversation with you, you know what I'm saying, the same way as if they knew you for a long time. And so that's been really interesting and exciting. And I guess you can throw in jarring somewhere within there, because it's allowed me to truly take a step back and look at like, oh, wow, this is a place where you can not only be, but grow, thrive, and then enjoy and talk to other people who have been here and in this kind of wealth access, accessibility for a long time. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, that is great to hear, and I'm glad that Atlanta is truly showing its hospitality, because
for sure.
I know when we moved here, my wife's from out west, and she was not prepared really for. I grew up here in Georgia, and so she wasn't really prepared for that friendliness. Being in the grocery store, and she had our daughter with her, and the lady in the line was asking her all these questions and asking if she had a new church, and did she go to this community event, and hey, there's this event coming down, and so she got a little overwhelmed.
Man, I could totally understand. My wife and I, we've hit it off with the lady at the grocery store, and now she knows us. We know her whole life story. I mean, just simple stuff like that. It's just like, oh my goodness, like this is a place to stay. This is a place for community. And this is a place where you could truly feel like home. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you go, feel like your kid. I mean, our kids in our neighborhood, they run out here all day long. Like, and just that's not a thing for me. Like, you get picked up by the school bus at the, at the stop sign. Like that. Just there's so many things that are just like, where am I? You know what I'm saying? But it's super exciting, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, we have a neighbor, the house that we've lived in, and I talked to you about this, our previous conversation. We've been here 20 years, and our neighbor, he's been here a little bit longer than us. And his son and our kids grew up together, and basically my kids call him Uncle Donnell when, that's just who he is now. Yeah. He and I go out to breakfast and lunch all the time. We just hang out. Nice. Always checking on each other's houses and see how things are going. And then we've, over time, there's another newer neighbor. I mean, he's been there like 6 years now, Dennis. And, we all kind of watch our little area and watch, like you were saying, the kids walk by and do all sorts of different things. And so,
Yeah.
it's a really wonderful area where
Truly.
we both are in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, truly. It's been enjoyable.
So tell me more about and what brought us to this conversation, your aspirations on social media. So you're looking at that as a platform for social selling is what you said in your post. And I love that idea. And I applaud that and support that. We all are trying to do that kind of thing where we're building relationships. And as you're very well aware, real estate is about building those personal relationships beyond the platform, because we are all on these technological platforms. But how can we truly interconnect and make authentic or genuine friendships and relationships outside of that platform? So I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, that's a great question. And so, let me back up a little bit. So I first got started on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is my main bread and butter. That's the only place that I really primarily put a lot of energy. Just started getting on Facebook a little bit, but we're talking today about LinkedIn. And so LinkedIn, I started off on LinkedIn, created a LinkedIn platform back in undergrad, maybe 7-8 years ago, and in a class, and just had to. But I got re-engaged with LinkedIn during grad school. And at that point in time, when I was still technically at Target, but now in grad school, I was honestly just getting back into the swing of things and just showing people that, like, hey, here I am going back into getting my master's degree in real estate, and highlighting that at every networking event, moving and shaking, and becoming so much so like the LinkedIn kid, kind of in that Southern California real estate space, in which people started to know me for that. And when I would go into different rooms, they'd be like, oh, you're the LinkedIn kid. And I'm like, boom. So now I automatically have a entryway and a warm, it's a warm introduction from the jump, because now you've seen me consistently. So that was then. And then coming out, left my job back in LA, coming out here to Atlanta, my wife and I kind of just settled down for a little bit of time. I wasn't on LinkedIn very much. I stayed kind of here and there and was, checking it out. But I took my time a little bit away from it as I figured out what was next for me. And in that moment in time in which we were able to come out here, have some equity back from our home back in California, and say, hey, what do we want to do? And step back into being like, yo, I think I want to go back into real estate, but now I want to get onto the broker and agent side of things. And so started that off, really geared up and planned out for a kind of, announcement campaign, I guess you will, late December, early January, and letting people know, hey, here I am, and here I am to stay. And started off just this year, probably early this quarter, and said, yo, I'm going to re-engage back on LinkedIn and go all in every day. I initially started off doing it twice a day, thinking that, okay, that was going to be my platform, where I was going to go. But then after that, I was like, you know what? Let me get on here and give people once a day, every day, consistently, and see the kind of growth that comes about it. And so the point in which we talked about, a little bit earlier is, like, I put out a post earlier today that over quarter one, over the last 90 days, to start this year, 2025, I've had 302,000 impressions on a lot of my different posts. And so when you talk about, hey, your goals or aspirations, if I continue to keep going in the path and direction that I plan on doing so, and quite frankly, LinkedIn is a little bit more of a snowball rather than it is just like a consistent metric point. But at this pace right now, I am in motion to hit 1.2 million impressions on LinkedIn this year. That also comes with 20,000 engagements, personal engagement from people, whether they like it, comment it, support it, celebrate it, whatever the case may be, and over 20,000 engagements. And the concept that I come about at LinkedIn is what we call social selling to a degree. It's like, I'm not coming in from the standpoint of like your 10, 15 years ago kind of LinkedIn strategy of like, hey, I'm looking for a new job. Hey, I've just did this highlight thing. Hey, I'm cool, which there is a place for that. Yet that's not my approach. I more so approach LinkedIn from an everyday basis of, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's how I'm falling in love with Atlanta. Here's how I'm creating out my niche of being the residential realtor for commercial real estate professionals and other trusted advisors. I'm always on there smiling. I'm always on there creating a vibe and energy that is like, yo, this guy loves what he does. I put my wife on there. I put my, the things that I'm doing out and about, to where now you're able to see like, okay, there's more to this guy than it just being about, hey, just close this or just close that. Like, he's actually a cool guy. And at the end of the day, people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And that's what I want to create as a place on LinkedIn.
That's fantastic. That's exactly how you're coming across. You're doing a bang up job. And
yeah,
I think, you're setting some aspirations and goals for a lot of us, me included.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why impressions? Why is that particular metric important to you? What does that mean for you?
Yeah, for me, impressions is one of those things in which I got eyeballs on there. So impressions is really, as it rolls across your feed, somebody saw it, they could potentially either scroll by it or they can engage with it. And so I think that the post that impressions was a place for me to be able to capture the focus on the fact that, like, there is going to be 1 million eyeballs on what I'm doing on a daily basis here on this platform. Now, granted, at different points in times, you may be an impression on Monday and on Tuesday. That's 2. But granted, nonetheless, I'm running across your feed consistently. And, I saw a guy, not too long ago talk about how LinkedIn is one of the easiest places to create traction and quite frankly, eyeballs to who you are and what you do. And for me, I see it as important because the more that I can get out there, the more people that can see my post, the more that they can see what my value proposition is, the better. And especially when it comes down to now people are engaging with it. And I got just this quarter, over 5,000 engagements, whether people are like actively liking it, actively supporting it, celebrating it, commenting, so on and so forth. And if I continue to keep propelling that, and now people are truly back and forth with me, they're seeing it, they're engaged. Now I'm going to the next step in level. You know what I'm saying? And now we're taking it from eyeballs to lead gen through engagement, to then you focus more on that, of then going into your direct messages that then lead into relationships that then lead into business. So it's really a fluid process, but it's one that has to come with initially being on there enough for people to actually see what you're doing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's one of the things that I love about LinkedIn versus the other social platforms is there is a sense of professionalism. I used to tell people back when Twitter was still Twitter, I would go to Twitter for my daily dose of hate and vitriol. And because that's really what it was. It was kind of the Wild West. But if you're looking for that professional feel and actually looking to build, because they have changed the platform so much and allow for so many ways to truly and genuinely connect with people now, that you can build professional relationships and even personal relationships with people that you connect with. I mean, I would call us friends at this point. We're chilling and hanging out and chatting about, what we're doing on social media. So tell me, what are you looking to produce on, what types of content are you looking to produce to help you get to that goal? Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I'm carving out a niche consistently, and I talked to another, he's a LinkedIn OG and creator on there, but he told me, hey, look, create your corner of the internet. And for me, that's what I'm focused on doing as the guy in which I'm falling in love with Atlanta. I am coming from a commercial real estate background, now on the residential side. I'm a guy in which is able to be joyous and excited about what I'm doing every day. When you see me on there, you see me smiling. You see me on there, you see me at another event. You see me on there, you see me engaging, you know what I'm saying, with other people, or I'm telling you about this area, or I'm showing you this area over here. And really creating a level of, I just had somebody today comment on my post and said, hey, he was joking, but he was like, hey, you make me want to potentially move to Atlanta.
And I'm like, that's exactly what I want you to do.
That's fantastic.
Literally, it's like, it's intentional. It's like, hey, I'm intentionally being a guy in which is putting such a highlight on Atlanta real estate that people are like, whoa, there's something over there in the water. Or he must really enjoy it. This is awesome. Wait, that country club. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. He's out golfing. Oh wow, he's over here with this guy. Oh, he's everywhere. Like he is active there in Atlanta, and that's a similar kind of approach that I took back in LA, and now I'm bringing it here and just saturating and meeting new people. I had another guy at a networking event the other day. I'm introducing myself. I just was saying bye to a friend that I know from LinkedIn. He then introduced me to two other guys and was like, this guy right here, he's a hustler. He just got here, but now he's meeting, he knows a little bit of everybody. And that's my focus point of like being the guy in which, you know, people ask, okay, what are your 5-year goals? And I had a friend, you know, not too long ago ask me, hey, what's your goals, you know what I'm saying, over the next 5 years? And quite frankly, I want to be, over the next 5 years, you know, one of Atlanta's most connected guys. And what I mean by connected is truly being able to pick up the phone for just about anybody and everybody and say, hey, I need this or I need that. And somebody knows me and likes me and trusts me enough to be like, yo, I got you, Bryce. Like that's the goal. Because if I can be a connector and a, you know what I'm saying, and a dot connector and a person in which can add value to anybody for anything, I'll be just fine. People will continue, business will flow to me. But if I can add more value and give more than I take, I mean, the amount of business that will flow, you know, it will take care of itself.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is so true. And wanting to be the connector, I think is key to that. Because, you know, there's going to, I mean, we all have experienced deals where we weren't part of it, but we were part of making that connection. And, you know, we found their success. And that's one of the things that I have a little Post-it note here that says, what can I do today to help you achieve success? And, you know, it's not I don't want to be the, oh, let me create this marketing piece for you and it's going to be really cool and it's going to be awesome and it's going to help you out. But I want you to see the results from that and to say, okay, this was fantastic. And I think, Bryce, you're saying the same kind of thing. You know, if you can make a connection with a commercial broker and say, hey, you know, you're looking to move upscale, your family's expanding, let me help you find that new residential property. And then, you know, you can tell your friends that we had a really good experience. Yeah.
You know, it's so interesting that, you know, sometimes people get it immediately, and sometimes people are like, wait, what are you talking about? In a sense of me really carving out my niche of being the residential realtor for commercial real estate professionals. And let me explain that a little bit more. So for me, my background is commercial real estate. My network is commercial real estate. My community is commercial real estate. Yet I have a personality and skill set that can serve all residential components. And quite frankly, I decided to flip the funnel because not every person can do that on the commercial real estate side. And instead of me coming to a new place and just trying to jump in and be another commercial real estate broker amongst all the other commercial real estate brokers, fighting for these few properties that are here in this area, I said, let me be the one residential realtor who knows how to speak commercial and connect with commercial real estate professionals to the point in which all of them are my target audience. So when I'm in a commercial real estate networking event, I'm not your competition, nor am I not trying to spy on your property, nor am I not trying to vouch for you, know what I'm saying, and get the same kind of things. I'm actually here to serve you in a way that, like, wait, I got the whole room now. Imagine if I served all of CBRE's Atlanta's, you know, whole office when it comes down to their residential needs. I would eat pretty well. And quite frankly, I just may. And my goal is honestly to be able to create a lucrative, you know, life for my wife and my family that doesn't necessarily have to come from the same vantage point of the way that somebody else is doing it. And not every day you're going to, if at all, other than maybe myself, but not every day you're going to run into a realtor, a residential realtor who has a background in commercial real estate, but also two, has a master's degree in real estate, and then additionally has a network that can be able to solve and find and help connect in all of my commercial real estate group and company to each other if they needed to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
and I think what you said early on in that is, you're flipping the funnel. And I think that's a good way to look at it. You're like, okay, I'm not your competition anymore. I'm your help. I'm going to help you get to where you are on the lifestyle side of things rather than on the professional side of things. And I think that is a great way to come at it. And I think you have a great approach.
Thank you. And additionally, to that, you hit it on the head of like, I'm not your competition. Quite frankly, I am here to serve you because all people need a home to live in. And quite frankly, wealth is acquired, oftentimes through your personal real estate. And as commercial real estate professionals, it only makes sense that number one, you would have your own house to live in. Additionally, two, you could potentially put yourself in a position where, hey, you're investing now in your own real estate deals for yourself. And then on top of that as well, when it comes down to buying or selling, or investing in this space, you would then tell your other colleagues and peers, hey, Bryce helped me, who's also already been in our shoes before or who knows how to interact with us. Why don't you call him? And when I put it out there, in which I'm connecting with now commercial real estate professionals, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, sports and entertainment, managers and agents. If I go out and I create a great relationship with other trusted advisors to other people, now if I'm their residential real estate trusted advisor, now I have other fishermen, quite frankly, who are out there fishing for me in comparison to me going off to one-off fish and saying, hey, do you want to buy or sell your house today? And instead, I can come at it from a vantage point of when you now speak, Warren, to your people who they're like, oh, I trust Warren. And if Warren introduced me to Bryce, well, then I'm going to roll with Bryce all day long. And that's my focus point. I'm a warm lead guy. I don't necessarily try to too much, do cold calling and that kind of thing. I'm a guy in which I want to have a relationship. I want to be connected to you through an email or through a group text and say, hey, Bryce is my guy, and you need to work with him when you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing out here in Atlanta.
No, that is a great mindset to key into, and I think you're going to do a fantastic job here. And I was just thinking about it too, since you're from California and being able to talk, because you've got that commercial background, and so you can speak that language of commercial real estate to commercial brokers and then get them into that residential sector. But I think also what's going to be interesting for you, and I think it's going to be important for you too, is your ability to speak Californese, because there are so many people moving from California or people that are coming here because of the move of some movies to the Atlanta area. There's a huge influx of things going on down in Sonoy and Fayetteville area. So, that could be potentially a playground for you, diving into that particular area.
You're hitting me on the head there is being able to speak from a vantage point of experience in California and doing it at a high level in California. Quite frankly, Los Angeles, when I come here, I already have a level of authority that I can speak to, if that makes sense. It's like, hey, I've done it, and I've been in rooms and areas with folks who are doing it at the highest level. Now that I'm here in Atlanta, it's not necessarily a huge drop-off, but it is different. It's like, no, there's different ways to go about and approaching it. If I can rock with a guy like Bryce, who's not only done it at a high level, but also done it in California, and then additionally is tapped in and connected with a lot of people who might be valuable resources to California brokers or to California people who are moving here to, to Atlanta, or to people who are like, yo, I'm here and I'm excited about just being here and growing and moving up, or bouncing over to my lake home up at Lake Lanier, or getting now into the new country club over here at the Manor in Alpharetta, or just living closer to Avalon, or being now, next to the medley that's coming to Johns Creek. Like now, oh my goodness, Bryce is in these spaces where he can speak and talk to those kind of individuals and players. Yeah, I want to be the guy, which is I'm excited about being here and saying, yo, I've done it at $150 million worth of, you know what I'm saying, property and access and overseeing that, to now being able to sell you your $1 or $2 million home. Let's do it. Like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do that all day long. As you're killing it in your space here in the commercial real estate industry, as you're growing and thriving, yo, let me help you take care of your home when it comes down to, you know, buying or selling your new home and bouncing up and your family growing and you got married and, okay, cool, you need to downsize grandma or whatever the case may be. I'm all things to all people when it comes down to in between there. And being able to speak that language is definitely important.
Yeah, it is vital being able to communicate clearly to folks. And I think you're gonna find a lot of success with the way you're coming at things, and your expertise and experience and knowledge is going to be pivotal to that growth.
Totally.
Not only that, but your attitude and your can-do optimism there. So
yes, absolutely. My wife tells me, she was like, hey man, can you just calm down for just a second? I'm like, hey, we're going after it. It's a great day. It's a great day. But yeah, excited.
That is awesome. Excited. Well, I'm super excited for you, and I know you're going to make that goal that you posted today on LinkedIn, and I think you'll exceed it probably more than
trust.
Probably 2 million is what I'm thinking. I'm seeing for your future there.
I think so. I think so. You know, for me, I started off this year maybe roughly just a little bit over 3,000, maybe 3,000. You know, a little bit over 3,000 followers on LinkedIn. I'm now just today, you know, over the last 90 days or so, now hit over 4,400 followers on LinkedIn.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you. And growing. And this is a place where it snowballs. And when you get a few posts that are now going after it and they're climbing, you'd be surprised as to what you can see and how it starts to just take off. And most importantly, it's the personal relationships that then get, carved out from there. I've met some good people so far here in Atlanta and continuing to keep growing, especially yourself. And which if I can keep being, LinkedIn with people like you, then I think I'll be all right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I have really enjoyed our newfound friendship here and just the opportunity to chat with new people about commercial real estate and just real estate in general. It's just fantastic. Yeah. And you bring energy and exuberance to it that I don't see as often as I think we should in the residential space, because you're giving people the lifestyle that they want. You're saying, here's your home. This is the space that you're going to go to for sanctuary, for relaxation, for entertainment, to bring family and friends. And this should be a space that you should dedicate a lot of time and thought to. And I think you're bringing that particular thing to it.
Thank you, man. That's all I'm trying to do. I guess I guess what I'm doing on LinkedIn is coming across well and definitely meeting the target focus that I'm aiming to get after.
Yeah, definitely. Any closing thoughts? I mean, we've been talking for about 30 minutes now, and I just want to.
Number one, again, Warren, thanks so much for this opportunity for us to be able to connect again and create a place where I can kind of continue to keep getting the word out. I'm looking for more and more opportunities to jump on podcasts and be a voice of authority here in Atlanta real estate, meeting with new people, connecting with the right folks is always my focus and plan. You can find me on LinkedIn, again, Bryce Grandison. I'm also on Facebook and coming out with more and more stuff as we roll across, getting my website up and going to where, now we can start to launch out and create some traction there. So a lot of good things on the horizon, but excited for 2025 and ready to hit the ground running.
Excellent. Well, I know you're doing a bang-up job, and I'll put some things for anybody that's watching. I'll put some connections for Bryce Grandison here in the description so that you can connect with him for your home needs.